Hi, this is Mrs. Brode, and we are going to continue on with functions today. So I'm going to have you work number 1, finding the domain and range of the relation, and then determining if the relation's a function. If it's not a function, tell me what specifically made it not a function. So go ahead and pause this video, write your domain and range, decide if it's a function or not, and when you're ready, hit play and check your answer with mine. Okay, so I got that this was not a function because you can see that there are two number ones in the x for the x values. So go ahead and check yours with mine. Make sure you got the same thing. Make sure you understand that domain is always your x values and range is always your y values. So we're going to move on again to function notation. Remember, that's where it's like f of x or g of x, but it still means y equals. It's just another way of writing it. So we are going to go ahead and solve a few different problems. So the first one says f of negative 3. That means that x value is negative 3, and we are going to plug that in to the equation f of x equals 2x plus 4x. So I'm going to go ahead and show my work doing that now. Remember that it's a negative and you're squaring it. So that negative does need to be in parentheses if you're typing all of this in your calculator. But we do expect you to show us the work, show us with all the numbers plugged in before you plug it in the calculator. It is okay to use the calculator, but you have to show us the work that you understand. So this would be my work. So negative 3 squared is 9. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. And so we get 9 minus 12, we get f of negative 3 equals negative 3. So when x is negative 3, y is also negative 3. So then we've got g of negative 5. The only thing different about this is that we have to use the g of x equation instead of the f of x equation. So we know that x is negative 5. We're going to plug that in for 5 minus 3 times negative 5. Remember that we would have 5 and then negative 3 times negative 5 would make a positive 15. So we're going to get g of negative 5 equals 20. So that was just a review from the last lesson. We also did a couple like number 4 and 5 in the last lesson where we put them together. So we've got to use our f of x rule and our g of x rule to solve number 4. So for f of x, we're going to use the x squared plus 4x. X is going to be 1, so we would have 1 squared plus 4 times 1. And I'm going to go ahead and work the f of x rule. 1 squared plus 4, that would give us 5 for that part. Then we've got g of 3, so I'm going to use the g of x rule of 5 minus 3 times 3. So we would get 5 minus 9, which would be negative 4. And then you can see that what I'm going to do with those two is add those two together. So 5 plus negative 4, which is the same as 5 minus 4, gives us an answer of 1. So f of 1 plus g of 3, the final answer is 1. So go ahead and pause the video now and try number 5 on your own. Be very careful that now we are subtracting. Go ahead and work that out, see what you get. When you're ready, push play. Okay, so I got it mostly worked out for you, but I did want to show you when I did my f of negative 2, I got negative 4. G of 4 was negative 7, but we have a subtraction, so that's where you have to be careful that it's negative 4 minus negative 7 or negative 4 plus 7. So the answer would be 3. All right, so the only thing different in number 6 is that we have brackets, and we treat those brackets as if they were parentheses. So we're going to do everything inside the brackets first, and then we would multiply by that outside number. So I'm going to go ahead and work for g of negative 2. I do like to bring down the 2. I'll just leave that in parentheses. And now I'm going to use my g of x rule, which is 5 minus 3x. So I'm going to do 5 minus 3 times negative 2. So what I get inside the parentheses is 5 plus 6, which we know is 11. So now to finish that part off, I would have to multiply it by the 2 that's on the outside. So I would get an answer of 22 for my g of negative 2. So then I'm going to use my f of x rule, but I do have a 3 on the outside that I'm just going to leave there for now. And so my f of x rule is x squared plus 4 times x. And notice I bring down that 3 each time so I don't forget about it. So I get 4 plus 8, so I get 12 inside my brackets. I need to multiply that by the 3 on the outside, and I get 36. And then I can see that what I'm doing with those two is adding them together to get 58. So it's all just about following the function rule that they give you. All right, so let's move on. Sorry about that. The back side of the notes is really just a lot of review on functions, on finding the ordered pairs, listing the domain and range, things like that. So what I want you to do right now is go ahead, push pause, list all the points, list your domain and your range out, and decide if it's a function. Then we'll do the rest of it where it asks f of 2 equals, f of negative 3 equals. We'll do the rest of that together. So go ahead, find your points, write those points down, write your domain and range, and then push play. Okay, so I found the 7 points. I have them color-coded based on that, and my domain was negative 3, negative 2, 0, 2, 4, and 9, and my range was negative 6, negative 5, 0, 2, 4, 5, and 7. And I put that no, it was not a function because the 4s for the x's repeat. Now, it does say what would make it a function. What would make it a function is to remove one of those points. So we could remove either 4, negative 6, or we could remove 4, 2. By removing just one of those points, it would be a function because the 4s would no longer repeat. All right, so we talked about in our last lesson f of 2, how to solve that. And remember I said that the way you need to think about it is what is y when x is 2? So they're looking at the points from this same graph. So I need to go back where x was 2, and I can see when x was 2, y was 0. So same thing over here. What is y when x is negative 3? So I'm just going to look at my list of points. There's x is negative 3. Y would be 4. Okay. So now we've got f of x equals 7. So this is a little different, okay? So what this is meaning is that they gave you the y value, and now they're asking for this particular problem, what is x when y is 7? So now I'm going to go back and look for my y value of 7, which I can see right there, x would be 0. So same thing, what is x when y is negative 6? I would go back and look at my points. There's negative 6. My x value would be 4. So those aren't necessarily hard questions to answer. You just need to understand the terminology that goes along with those. All right, so we have another domain and range from the graph that we're going to use our inequalities. This one is a line segment. So this is where we talked about the fences, and the x value is going to be sandwiched in between two numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and look at naming my points first. So I'm going to name this point, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, -6, 6. So -6, +6. And then I'm going to name this other point over here, which looks to be +8. Sorry, that doesn't look like a positive. +8, -2. So then I like to build my fences. I know that my x value has to be between these two numbers. And so I want to look, remember, if you write it from least to greatest. So my smallest x value is -6. So I'm going to go ahead and write -6. Then I need to look at the sign. It's a closed circle. That means -6 is included in that point. So I'm going to say less than or equal to, because it can't go to the left of -6. It can't get smaller than that. X, which is, and you see an open circle over here, less than 8. So that means if I were to straighten this out on the x-axis, straighten that line segment out, that x could be -6 or anything greater than that, but it has to be less than 8. So that's how we write the domain. So remember, the range is your vertical movement, so it has to be sandwiched in between. If I were to straighten it out, it's going to be between these 2 points. So I like to write it from least to greatest, just because I can keep all of my inequality signs facing in the same direction. So I'm going to start over here with -2, and notice that that is an open circle. So -2 is just less than y. Make sure you use y for range. And y is less than or equal to, because of that closed circle there, this larger y value, 6. So that means that y has to be greater than -2, but it can be anything up to and including 6. So y falls somewhere within that range. It is very, very important that you remember to use x for domain and y for range. Okay. And that's it for today.